Hugh Jackman in a proper Wolverine costume, Charles Xavier killing the X-Men, behind-the-scene photos from Logan, all that and more from James Mangold's Quarantine Watch Party. What's up, Comic Book Nation? BD here, and in case you missed it, we had an epic Quarantine Watch Party with Logan director James Mangold on Wednesday night. I got a chance to talk with Mr. Mangold ahead of the event, so in this video, we're going to be rounding up the highlights from his Quarantine Watch Party in tweet form and also tossing in a few of the highlights from what he said in our interview, which you can read in full on Comicbook.com/Marvel, or just ask me for a link on Twitter. I'm practically Comicbook.com customer service at this point.
The whole world's going to hell, you're just going to sit there? Let's go.
As always with our events, there was a surprise guest who popped in, so let's talk about this movie and all of that, with reveals like the first day of filming. As it turns out, the sequence with Wolverine, X-23, and Charles Xavier in the elevator was the first thing they filmed on Logan.
Bring it on, Pops. Bring it on.
Wolverine himself, Hugh Jackman, chimed into the QWP, as we call them for short because we're cool. He told a fun little story about Daphne Keene's casting for Laura Kinney. It was important they got the character right, and when Daphne Keene punched Hugh so hard that she left a bruise on him at her first audition, they knew. Hired. So now you know. Want to get a role in a Marvel movie? Just beat up your co-stars at the audition. Don't do that. Disclaimer, I don't endorse beating people up at your auditions.
What the hell's the matter with you? Do your thing.
Mangold dropped these awesome comparison photos from the real-life set of the smelting plant where Charles Xavier was holed up rolling around and spewing out old Taco Bell commercials.
The new quesalupa from Taco Bell. Get it with chicken, get it with steak, but with the cheese baked right in the shell.
Getting old sounds super fun. Props to the production design team and crew who brought this world to life. I mean, it's always movie magic and stuff, but when you see it like this and you can tell how much effort went into it, it just gives you a new level of appreciation. Before shooting the psionic attack sequence at the casino hotel, which by the way called for Hugh Jackman to literally be strapped to bungee cord type ropes to really make him have to fight his way down the hallway, the stunt team and another unit shot the sequence in previs, and Mangold released footage of that, which is really cool to see behind the scenes. This, of course, was one of the more R-rated sequences in the movie, which Mangold told me cost about $40 million in budget in exchange, but it helped that Deadpool was successful as an R-rated movie within the same studio prior to Logan's release.
Eventually, you're gonna hang up the claws, and it's gonna make a lot of people very sad.
Huh?
Speaking of the R rating, before the movie turned into a straight-up horror flick, the dinner scene was a really touching calm before the storm. This isn't a huge reveal, but Mangold noted that the bit between Charles and Logan, where they say one was a teacher and one was a crummy student, was improvised.
I got kicked out a few times.
I wish I could say you were a good pupil, but the words would choke me.
The real reason I included this is because personally, I'm a huge fan of these characters in movies and have been for 20 years, like many of you. And this just goes to show how attached to them Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart are as well. I appreciate that.
I know you, Charles. We've been friends for years.
Although Mangold did manage to convince Fox to let him kill pretty much everyone we care about, he didn't think he was going to be able to convince them to include the bit where Charles Xavier killed X-Men in the past in what is referred to as the Westchester incident. In case you missed it, he vaguely references the incident before getting attacked by Weapon X.
This is not the first time I've hurt people. Until today, I didn't know. You wouldn't tell me. So we just kept on running away from it.
This is in reference to Charles having a psionic episode at his school for gifted youngsters. In the Westchester incident, Charles killed 600 mutants and completely demolished the school permanently. Here we were, thinking the X-Men had been through enough after X3.
Don't let it control you.
We did get some really cool Weapon X art along with some portraits of the cast, which Mangold shared before the party got started. If the ending of the movie wasn't heartbreaking enough, the director did respond to my tweet with some bad news. Hugh Jackman literally never once put on the Wolverine costume. That costume nod to the classic comics look existed for Mangold's The Wolverine movie, but they never made a costume for Hugh Jackman. The first actor to wear it is going to be whoever inevitably plays this role for Marvel Studios in a reboot. It's hard to imagine someone else playing Wolverine, really, but I'm pretty sure we've said that about other characters in the past, and follow-ups turned out to be pretty good.
God, I'm full of so much gratitude right now.
As we know, the movie culminates with Wolverine having a tender moment with Laura Kinney as he finally dies, being hundreds of years old and watching everyone he loved go before him. Mangold told me this was the only ending, considering Shane has already done the whole ride off into the sunset thing, and Shane literally played on a TV screen earlier in Logan.
You run on home to your mother and tell her everything's all right. There aren't any more guns in the valley.
Instead, he decided to cut onions in theaters around the world and, quote, allow him to leave this world after 200 plus years of pain in a moment of love and tenderness. And those tears on X-23 actress Daphne Keane, they're not movie magic. They're as real as yours were in the theater. Remember movie theaters? Another tear. Those were my favorite moments from the quarantine watch party of Logan. Share yours in the comments section or send it to me on Instagram at BrandonDavisPD. And a huge thank you to Mr. Mangold for joining our event, as well as everyone else who watched along with us from home. If you're watching us on YouTube, be sure to turn on post notifications because we are working hard to bring you content worth watching, and we love some feedback and we hope you enjoy. For more, head over to Comicbook.com. I'm BD. I'll see you there.